As we all know, we have gathered here today to raise the issue of the unfair 1929 to 1959 Nile Treaty. On behalf of the other 10 countries that are part of the Nile Treaty, we think that it is unfair because Egypt is using up all of the Nile's water and leaving none for the other countries. We do take in consideration of the fact that Egypt has the most number of populations, but that does not mean that Egypt has all the rights over the Nile Treaty. We feel that we should get an equal amount of it as well. The Nile has nourished the civilizations on its bank for millenniums. Now, however, the Nile has become immensely polluted due to the rapidly growing population and the different uses of water for industrial and agricultural purposes. In most of the countries, especially Egypt and Sudan, most of the water resources are almost fully utilized. It is, therefore, essential for all the 10 countries which are part of the Nile Treaty to cooperate with the new Nile Treaty to avoid conflict over the looming water crisis. We request all 10 countries to please follow the new treaty rules, otherwise, anyone seen going against any of the rules will be penalized. The first one is that the 1929 Nile Treaty states that most of the upper riparian states hold the right to do whatever it chooses with the water that flows through its boundaries, regardless of its effect on any other country. We feel that it is a foolish rule, as the countries should realize that all that they dump in the water flows down to the countries that are down. We have this rule that if any riparian country pollutes the water, they should be the ones to pay for the purification. As all 10 countries that are part of the Nile Treaty heavily rely on the Nile for the water, they have all the rights over the Nile River and can use the water however they feel like, provided they don't have the others. The countries should get water depending on their population and their agricultural requirement. Each country should have a limited number of cows that they can keep. They should also make sure that they don't let the cows anywhere near the dam, as they poop in the water and their hoofs cause soil erosion. They should stay at least 100 meters away from the Nile River. The countries should not cut trees, as cutting down trees causes soil erosion, which dirties the river. Also, trees transpire to provide us with rainwater, which fills the river. But if there is a country which is heavily dependent on the money they get by cutting down trees, they should plant at least 3 trees for every tree that they cut. The quality of the Nile River is another pressing problem. Only 60% of the water goes into the sewage systems, and the rest of the 40% goes into the Nile. The Nile has been found to be contaminated with household discharges, industrial wastes, agricultural runoffs, bacteria, heavy metals, and sulfur in the Nile. Polluting the Nile is not acceptable, and anyone found doing so should be punished severely. We believe that the country should be appointed the amount of Nile water depending on the amount of rain that the country receives. A country which doesn't have enough rain should get more than the country who does. For the country which receives enough rainwater always has alternative water resources such as groundwater. Countries should not be fully dependent on the Nile for their water. They should have some alternative water resources such as rainwater harvesting. They should also start thinking about reusing water. Just like if you have used some water to wash your vegetables, you can use the same water to wash your car or water the plants. There is no harm in doing so. Thank you for listening to me.